All right. Let me go live. We go live. We go live. It's been a while since I've been on live YouTube. It's been a while. As I stated before, to all people in regards to this does not constitute legal advice, nor is it for anti-government purposes. The sole purpose, no purposes only. Now I'm live. Here we go. We gotta let some people roll in. I believe I allowed comments in regards to this. And let's see who rolls in as far as comment section is concerned. All right. Top messages. Let's see. All right. Cool. Okay. It's been a while since I've been live, people. I do not know how YouTube is going to treat me this morning. Grand rise to everybody that attends. And if you don't have the ability to attend while I'm actually live, you can actually play this back in regards to this live feature. Grand rise, everybody that's coming in. Grand rise. I haven't been live in a while. I usually go live on TikTok. Yeah, that's usually where you'll catch me. Majority of the time when I go live throughout the week, so forth and so on. My email address. What's going on? What's going on? What's going on, Moses? For the most part, I usually go on TikTok live. And when I'm on TikTok live, it's so much better. And the community in and of itself. So now, what's going on? That's no problem. I'm still here. Anywho, I'm basically on TikTok. And the live feature, I know that they had to ban. Well, it's been suspended as far as being on TikTok. So if you do have TikTok and you haven't deleted off your device, and you do have my TikTok address and so forth and so on, that's perfect. I'm usually over there. I'm usually I do lives over there. And I usually do them anywhere between an hour, maybe like an hour and a half, depending on what time of the day it's scheduled usually. But if you are watching this video around children, okay, let's start this because I always put it in my community guidelines as well. These videos are not for children, okay? This is for adult-based content. This is for educational and informational purposes only. I do have a penchant to use strong language, okay? Now, I know a lot of people may have had problems with trying to actually subscribe or to be notified, whatever the case may be. As I always say in my previous videos, I have no control over who subscribes and who doesn't. That is not my control. It is what it is. That is totally up to YouTube and YouTube purposes only. Now, this does not constitute legal advice, okay? Let's also get that out the way. Let us get that out the way. This does not constitute legal advice. The sole information is for educational and informational purposes only. Now that we got that out the way, and we may have some people come in, some people may not come in. It is what it is. If you're here, I'm not looking for numbers, just for people to get the message about what I'm saying. If you wish to consult with me in regards to anything that I say on this video or anything that is of legal importance to you, please contact me via my email address, which many of you should already know. It's luciferianlight7@gmail.com, or it's luciferianlight7@proton.me. I'm sorry. So here we go, people. Well, you can put .com too. It still goes through. Doesn't matter. Now, what I want to talk about today is something I touched on when I was actually over on TikTok. And when I was on TikTok, I was talking to the audience about something that I think a lot of people need to understand, which is also the title of this live. Now, I'm going to be very concise and I'm going to be very precise for the audience that is here. And for those, again, if you are attending, thanks for the love, y'all. If you are attending this live, do me a favor if you're attending it and you don't want to have to watch this over again, okay? Grand Rise. If you don't want to watch this over again, grab a pen and paper, people, because right now I'm just trying to just roll in to let more people join before I really start cooking. So the title of this video is Vacating the Contract Hell, which is rescission, okay? Now, I know a lot of people face a lot of problems in regards to their personal commercial affairs, okay? Mortgage contract, auto loan, credit cards, you name it. I mean, they abound. Contracts abound. even court cases, people. In commerce, everything is about contracts. Let's get that straight. Before we proceed, you must, in your mind, always understand and interpret that everything you deal with in commerce is always about contracts, people. Period. You never argue the amount. You never argue who owes who, who's the debtor, who's the creditor. That's really just the basis of how the contract was drafted. What you're arguing is the contract. Now, when it comes to rescission, this is your remedy, and this is how you vacate contractual hell. Okay? This is how you vacate contractual hell. First off, you must understand that according to United States Code of 15.1, hold on. We're going to go there, and we're just going to start here. Okay? Now, when you understand particularly that majority of the time that your contract from its inception is fraud, okay? Everything contractually in commercial society as we know it today is fraud. Let's just start there before I proceed to the law. Let's start there. What does fraud consist of, right? We're going to get to it because I want to be very, 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 very much understood when I get to the end of this video. Now, fraud in its simplistic form means wrongful or criminal deception intended to result in financial or personal gain, right? A person or thing intended to deceive others, a person or thing intended to deceive others, typically by unjustifiably claiming or being credited with accomplishments or qualities, right? So it says a person or thing. So in this definitive sense, we're going to talk about the thing. The thing is the contract, okay? It's the contract you sign. Once you sign any contract, it is now considered a binding obligation because it goes according to the realms of the legal parameters of what law says, right? What you don't understand in regards to your right to rescind any contract is that based upon it becoming material to your interest of how you signed that contract, you must realize that you, the signer, according to UCC 3419, you loaned your signature to the contract. They're never going to tell you this, but Lord and Light Luciferian Prince 7.7 is going to tell you. You loaned your signature. When you accommodate any document, that person or entity who is in charge of finalizing the contract can now take your signature and manipulate it any type of way they want on any document in any type of way they want. Okay? So you must understand that you gave consent unknowingly at the time that you were loaning your signature. Okay? So whenever they told you they gave you a loan, like a mortgage loan or an auto loan, they didn't give you anything. And as Lord and Light Luciferian Prince likes to keep it blunt, they didn't give you shit. They handed you a piece of paper to be accommodated. This is what they did. This is the loan they gave you. They pretended this is blank, but it's not. Pretend that this is blank. They handed it to you, right? Let's just say this is the contract. They hand it to you. You don't know the full parameters of what's through these pages. You see what I'm saying? But they already have it prepared for you, right? It's always like this. Highlighted sections. Sign here, sign here, sign here, initial here. You don't know what the hell you signing. But you signed it anyway. Because they told you you got a brand new car outside. Just go on, come on. You can't wait to show it off to your family members. You can't wait to show it off. Not realizing that you just have been defrauded. But that's putting the cart before the horse. So basically, when you accommodate a documentation, right? Watch this. You loan your signature. Now, again, as I said before, This is not my opinion. This is law. Appreciate the love. UCC 3-419. Instrument signed for accommodation. If an instrument is issued for value given for the benefit of a party to the instrument, the accommodated party, i.e., the mortgage company, and another party to the instrument, accommodation party, the signer, which is you, signs the instrument for the purpose of incurring liability on the instrument without being a direct beneficiary of the value given for the instrument is signed by the accommodation party for accommodation. In simplistic terms, you loaned your signature and they accepted it for its value. They told you, we're going to loan you such and such. You've been approved. Biggest bullshit game ever. Because they're only approved based upon lack of creditworthiness. Because again, the extension of the contract is to incur liability anyway. You think your fucking credit score really matters? I got an 850 credit score. They don't give a fuck. That shit will be 500 before the end of the year. Don't ever get too inflated in thinking that your credit score is going to save your ass in commerce. No. What's going to save you in commerce is the fact that you could reverse the curse. Okay? And I'm going to show you how to do that. But just reading from what I just gave you from that UCC1 code, it says, quote, signs the instrument for purpose of incurring liability on the instrument. The only purpose of you signing it is for you to be stuck with the liability. You thought you got a brand new car. No, you didn't. You got a brand new debt that didn't exist until you accommodated the documentation. Somebody said, yeah, you just got an auto loan. Well, you in the right place, buddy. Well, you're in the right place, buddy. Now, check this out. An accommodation party may sign the instrument as maker, drawer, acceptor, or endorser. Pause. Let me not go too much further into that, right? Now, according to UCC, I'm pulling shit out from all over the place. Bear with me, but it's in here. Whenever you sign a documentation, they said you're supposed to sign it a certain way, right? Notice what they said. Maker, drawer, acceptor, or endorser. Now, here is something I always include in my presentments that I personally use, so that is very clear. It's a little faded, but it's UCC 1-308. What does UCC 1-308 mean? Okay. In layman's terms, it says, I claim my reservation of rights under UCC 1308.4. I claim common law jurisdiction. I do not consent and waive the benefits. Now, what are you saying? So you're saying on the documentation, I am endorsing this. I'm not accepting it. I'm just endorsing it. See what I'm saying? See, when you sign something, you accepted it. When you leave it without reservation of rights, you accepted the full liability of the purpose and intent of signing the contract. But if you signed it as UCC 1308, you don't consent, you waive the benefits, which means that whatever they're presented to you is like it's non-existent. So let's just go back to that original premise of them handing you that contract again for that auto loan. Now, you didn't read everything throughout that motherfucker because it's fine print, right? That's what they do. That's the purpose and intent for it. If contracts were literally straightforward, it would probably only be 1 or 2 pages. But it's multiple pages for a reason. All of these are obligations that are binding you to certain things that you are not aware of. So what you're supposed to do is endorse it with your reservation of rights. Now, if you did not, don't worry. You don't lose hope. Come on, man, smash that love, man. I ain't in here talking to my damn self. But at that token, you did not wittingly or knowingly understand what you signed, but now you do. So I know it's a lot of people in there asking, so what do I do about it? Big question, great ass answer. Because in contract law, we have what is called, quote, a right to rescission. Now, what is rescission? You may be asking. Some people, they may be the first time they heard of it. It may have been the first time they heard of it. Thanks for the love, man. I appreciate it. Rescission, revocation, cancellation of repeal of a law, order, or an agreement. Now I'm going to say that again. The revocation, cancellation, or repeal of a law, order, or an agreement. Right? Revocation, cancellation, or repeal of a law, order, or an agreement. Now, what is a contract? A contract is an agreement, right? But here's the kicker for all y'all who have signed and didn't know what you were signing. You have a right to rescission. Yes, you do. According to consumer law. You fucking right, you do. Now, here's what people who loan you anything don't tell you, is that you have a right to rescind. They never informed you of that. Even if you get a traffic ticket, you have the right to rescind. But what is the period of time that you have to rescind? Normally, according to Truth in Lending, it's 72 hours. But let's just say, hypothetically, you get a ticket on a Friday. Let's just say, hypothetically, you sign that loan on a Friday. That 72-hour period doesn't extend to Saturday and Sunday. It only extends to 72 hours as opposed to business days, because Truth in Lending is only dealing with commerce, not weekends. So if you get a ticket or you signed a loan on a Friday, your best bet is Monday morning. You better have your ass up there and say, hey, I don't accept this. Or you have your ass up there Tuesday morning. I don't accept this. You take your ass to a police department, they give you a ticket. I don't accept this. That's what you better do. Because here's the kicker. If indeed you will probably still have to go to court, you state on the record, I turned it into them bitches. I rejected it. So it's nothing to talk about. But I'm putting the cart before the horse. Shut up. Let me wait. Hold on, y'all, because I'm warming up. Now, what does rescission mean? It's basically cancellation, people. Rescission, noun. Recision, the act, process, or fact of rescinding, especially a contract. Notice what it said. Especially a contract. Specifically, the equitable judicial remedy of rescinding a contract in a suit brought by one of the parties compares reformation. In other words, we got to do this shit all over again. But now that they know they can't dupe you into signing it again, what do? They're not going to do anything. All they're going to do is just keep calling you every month and say, hey, are you going to make a payment? Are you going to make a payment? Are you going to make a payment? Until they get you to dishonor. Now, normally when people have debt collectors call them, what they do is they like to do the ostrich shit. They like to go hide their head in the sand and act like the debt collectors don't exist. Good. They want you to do that. Because the moment you fall into dishonor and you don't have any type of recourse, they send a hitman after your shit. You know what I'm saying? Hitman is tow truck. You know what I'm saying? So now you losing sleep. Now you sitting out here every other 5 fucking seconds looking out the window, making sure your shit's still there. But in reality, I'm going to break this down to people in the most simplest terms. If what they were doing was actually legal as far as repossession, don't you think they would actually bring the authorities to come get it? I mean, just let that sink in before I proceed. If what they were doing was actually lawfully legal, let's just say lawfully legal, right? Don't you think they'll bring the authorities to come get the property back? No. They wait until your ass is abandoning the property. So you're not in the vehicle. So they wait until 5 o'clock in the morning and they come clap your shit. Because they know it's not legal. It's not. You got your property stolen. You ain't even know it. You know what I'm saying? Not only did they utilize your signature for a credit purchase and told you it was a loan, then they had the audacity to come take it back from you. But let me cook. Now, what you have to do, as far as the remedy is concerned, you have to take the proper steps, okay? So what are the proper steps? Now that I informed you the people who are watching this and those who will be watching it in the future. Now that I informed you that you have a right to rescind, you have to now invoke that right. So if you went over your 72-hour period, so forth and so on, it's not too late, because once it comes material to your interest to put them on notice, here's what you do. You give them what is called a right of rescission, which is a typed up documentation. I've typed it myself, particularly in regards to it, with all the requisite law. Not just opinions, not just saying I don't know what I signed. No. You have to hit them with this law, because you will get this work. Now check this out. Example. Now, basically what I'm saying in this letter to a purported lender who didn't loan me shit, here's what I sent this purported lender myself. Now, this ain't some shit I heard from somebody on another social media channel. No, this is my personal life. I'm giving you my personal information as far as what I've done myself. And it shuts them absolutely the fuck up. But anyway, it says, my name, original creditor and natural man, hereby rescind my consent to be liable or compelled to perform on the contract or agreement I enter into with the dealership on the date the contract was entered. Right? History of it all. So they can't sit here and say, I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, because I'm giving you specifics. Now, what you also tell them is the statement of your intent. In regards to this letter, I said, I entered into this contract agreement with the dealership without, 1, full disclosure of my right to rescind. They never tell you this, people. Anytime you sign up for anything, they never tell you that you have the right to rescind. I appreciate the love. Thank you. I appreciate that, man. Look, man, I'm going to keep on doing it too. I'm going to keep on rolling. Number 2, transparency regarding the process of consumer credit application being the financial asset. Now, your application that you signed for that so-called loan was turned into an asset. Don't take my word for it. 12, CFR, which means Code of Federal Regulations, 360.6, Section 2, tells you that your application was monetized. They didn't loan you shit. Your Social Security was enough to secure and monetize that transaction with that application. 12, Code of Federal Regulations, 360, Section 2. It was turned into a financial asset. This is not Lord Lucifer Prince telling you, read the law. It tells you they monetize your application. Now, number 3, as well as self-liquidating paper. Now, I know it's probably the first time y'all have heard of this, maybe, for many of y'all, but you literally, in essence, as I explained earlier, finance your own loan. Oops, this is what they were not supposed to let you know, but fuck them. I'm going to tell you the truth. Quote, 17, Code of Federal Regulations, 260.11b, Section 6. Now, with all the requisite law I just stated, letting them know that y'all done fucked me over some type of way, here we go. I have reason to believe that the dealership willingly and knowingly took advantage of me and my consumer credit. I am not terminating or canceling this contract. Now, here's the thing. You're rescinding. I'm not terminating or canceling it, though. I am deducting my liability. In other words, I'm revoking my signature. Right? To pay on behalf of the obligor, as I have found several violations and fraud. Notice that pursuant to 15 United States Code 1635B, this is when they really get scared. Upon receipt of this rescission, I am not liable for any finance charge or other charge, any security interest given by the obligor, including such interest arising by operation of law, becomes void upon such a rescission. In addition, I was given false and deceptive information, as I was informed that a down payment of whatever down payment you put was needed for me to drive off the lot. This is what they pretty much tell everybody, right? They get you like that. But sometimes you just got to just let them get you so you can get their ass back. Neither here nor there. Notice that pursuant to 15 U.S. Code 1635, within 20 days, After receipt of a notice of rescission, the creditor shall return to the obligor any money or property given as earnest money, down payment, or otherwise. It shall take any action necessary or appropriate to reflect the termination of any security interest created under the transaction. Pursuant to 15 United States Code 1605A, the amount of a finance charge in connection with any consumer credit transaction shall be determined as the sum of all charges. Now, not only did you pay with your own credit, people, your down payment paid for the fucking car itself. In short, you're welcome. Furthermore, the down payment of whatever you put shall be made by check, money order, or payable to your address. Kindly, without prejudice, UCC 1308. Send it to them. Fax it to them. Whatever the fuck. Certified mail. However you feel. 12, Code of Federal Regulation 360.62. That is Code of Federal Regulation 360.62. So, with that being said, now you send that to them. You wait 20 days, right? You gotta give it a little time, let them cook. Because it says in that 20-day period, they better not bother you. They better not call you. They better not send anything to you. They better not call you by a third party. Because the only thing that you're supposed to mention from that time forward is what the fuck you sent to them. That's all you need to discuss. We're not here to argue an amount. We're not here to argue a late fee. We're not here to argue shit. But did you draft up that rescission I sent you via certified mail on the date that you sent it? Yes or no? Remember, these calls are recorded now. So let them become their own incriminator. See what I'm saying? Because the Fifth Amendment does not apply to corporations. So let's get that straight. Let them incriminate themselves. I don't want to talk about what the fuck you talking about. What is the response? And where is my down payment that I requested? Why haven't I received a check to my address because I rescinded this? Where is my motherfucking fiat? I don't want to talk about nothing because the moment you put them on notice, according to 15 United States Code 1692, the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act, all debt collection efforts must stop. I don't give a fuck if you in foreclosure. They can't do a bitch ass thing until they provide you with ample proof of your right to rescind. We're going to get there to the mortgage, though. That's a little bit later. Right now, I'm just dealing with the basics of the auto loan. Right? So you send that pussy ass that documentation, right? Now, what you will also send them in lieu of that, right? Once you give them the notice of the right to rescind, and trust me, this is the package I actually sent them on my damn self. So, yeah, I got that work. You know what I'm saying? I got that work for you. Need that help. Got that work for you. So when you send that to them, this is the follow-up pack, right? It's the heavy hitter. This is what you take to court. You'll never lose, people. I don't give a fuck what they make you think in society. Let me tell you something. Look me in my eyes. You only lose if you fear. You know what I'm saying? Straight up. Have no fear with this shit. You have to be bold with these people because they was bold as fuck when they fucked you over and they made you believe that you owe them something and you don't. Okay? So don't be afraid because when you lose something, you need to take that same goddamn fear you have and put that shit towards that motherfucking fire and you go burn their ass just like they burned you. Because it don't matter. If you in default, they don't have no problem taking you to court. So you shouldn't have no problem taking their ass to court neither. I don't care if you got to take them to small claims. Please don't try to jump in federal court. Federal court got these motherfuckers. They lawyer. That's what I'm going to tell you for off experience. You try to file a lawsuit against a corporation, I'm telling you, the federal court going to step in and intervene and have their back. I'm just going to let you know. Now, if you want to waste your time and file the paperwork with federal court, do you. Go to small claims and file federal charges on whoever executed that motherfucking, file criminal charges against whoever executed that motherfucking goddamn, that contract. You think I'm lying? Okay, here we go. Here's my letter to these punk bitches, i.e. the dealership. This letter I wrote. Quote, these are my words. This is what I said concerning the fraudulent contract number, which is the account for the make and model of the vehicle, blah, blah, blah. And it says response and remedy for the above mentioned matter. Notice of claim against you. See, before you sue somebody, you got to tell them, bitch, I'm about to sue your bitch ass. It's what you really have to do this. You have to tell them. I just can't sue you and you not know, because that's like, oh, well, I didn't know. No, I'm telling you what I'm going to do. This is what I wrote to the individual who facilitated the contract. Quote, I'm writing this correspondence as power of attorney regarding the above mentioned account. It has become material into my interest to inform you that you have indeed violated the terms and conditions of the contract. You have therefore engaged in constructive fraud concerning securities. And you have also committed a felony by using my social security number to create a lien against a property that in which does not belong to the dealership per United States Code, subsection 242, 18 United States Code, subsection 245, etc. There are by no means any myths or conjecture. Attached are all necessary documents needed to solidify my claims against you and others. Absent a rebuttal to statements therein is enough for me, attorney in fact, to file criminal charges against you for committing this fraud. I will, absent my return of down payment via check and title for the vehicle, file with the county attorney the appropriate charges necessary for my remedy. This is not a threat. As the notary upon the face of the fraudulent documentation, you therefore owe me and my wife full recoupment on all adhesion losses and false credit reporting. You did not participate in a loan, but a credit transaction per 15 United States Code 1601, subsection 1. If you have any questions, please contact me in writing. In 10 days after receiving this facsimile, silence stands as a tacit admission that you are in full agreement to all statements herein, and I will thoroughly pursue active fraud charges against you. I do not grant permission for any third parties to act on your behalf, as they are not parties to the contract. Only parties to the contract have discussion of the contract. I will be waiting on a remedy or response. Until then, we are sworn to penalty of perjury, copy claim to the district attorney, Mrs. Lauren Freeman. Quote, oh yeah, it gets real when you fuck with the wrong one. It gets real, okay? And this is the thing that I'm trying to get a lot of people to understand when y'all deal with these people like this. You got to get serious. You got to be ferocious. You have to be tenacious. You have to be a beast in order to get yours back. Not only that, here's my violation warning, which is my denial of rights under color of law. That was also included in that, just to let them know, yeah, you cooked. You cooked, bitch. It's 29 people in this live and only 15 likes. Get them likes up, y'all. Yeah, come on, man. Moderator, you better tell her go get on up in there. Because look, let me tell y'all something. As social media evolving into 2025 and 2026, you already see they having issues on different platforms about censorship and control. It would be rare if you ever see somebody ever, in any instance, come out here and give it to y'all raw and real. I'm just going to be real. I'm not saying I'm the best or the biggest name of the, no. But I'm just saying I'm going to be the one that's going to give it to you raw and real, because I'm not giving you something that I heard from something or I no. This is what the fuck I do in my personal life. You see what I'm saying? This is what I do. I don't do shit that I heard. This is what I do. Because my job in my personal life as being a secure party creditor is to limit debt and to eliminate all liabilities in my life so that I can live a life that the Creator has given me and live it more abundantly. I know a lot of y'all have probably went to a lot of other people's channels and so forth, and they all got this fucking inflated view that you got this account and you get all this money, and IRS ain't give you shit. IRS is going to give you the same thing that they've given everybody else. Credit. You see what I'm saying? Credit. Y'all need to get out of that fucking thinking that these people got y'all thinking that y'all some motherfucking secret millionaires and that y'all got all this motherfucking act. No. This is what you got. Excuse me for shaking the camera. This is what you got. Whenever you pick one of these motherfuckers up, and you about to sign something, just understand, whatever you put on that documentation, you gave it value. You think I'm bullshitting? Just like when they used to give checks before they did all that direct deposit shit. And happened to me when I was a kid. I never realized until I got older. I worked my first job. You know, you happy, you about to cash your check. You slide that bitch through the window. I didn't sign it. They say, wait a minute. Excuse me. What's the problem? Oh, you need to sign this? Oh, for real? Oh, okay, cool. Thought nothing of it. But if you really read the back of a check, it says endorse. Can you demand that they give you the amount of the car as well as consider that the transaction requires? Yeah, you do whatever the hell you want once you actually put them on the spot. Once they know you got them, and I'm gonna get there. Once they know you got them, I'm telling you right now, they have to recoup, or else you're going to have to take it another step. You think that they're just gonna be like, oh, whoop. Now, to be honest with you, most of the time, depending on how bad you really scare them, they might just go ahead and write that shit off. Well, usually what they do anyway. In my instance, they wrote it off, but they think a motherfucker stupid. See, let me tell y'all something about these contracts and these individuals who extend them. They think we're all fucking stupid. Okay? I don't give a fuck about race, color, creed, nationality, origin. I don't care. They think you're all fucking stupid. Okay? I don't care if you make 6 figures. I don't care if you make 4. It doesn't matter. They all think of you all the same. Okay? But this is the thing that they never require their conscience to ever come back to. Will this shit ever come back and bite me in my ass one day? They never think that. The salesman like, yeah, we got down on that ass today. Yeah, how many people you scam? I mean, how many cars you sold today? Wallahi, I'm just keeping it real. Now, what you would do in concert with the letter that you would actually send, like proof that I just showed you what I showed them, is your affidavit of truth. Now, people who will follow me for a long time know that affidavits have a very, very, very strong, significant power. Don't care what nobody says, because affidavits state the truth of the maker. On your application, did you include a dollar amount when they asked for income? Of course not. It ain't none of their fucking business, because I don't have income. I don't have a dockyard. But we'll get there later. But yes, when it comes down to it, you have to take it in consideration that truth affidavits are only affidavits. See, you have what's called an affidavit, and then you have an affidavit of truth. See, there's a difference. Whenever courts put an affidavit against you, it's just simply an affidavit. You must rebut that affidavit with an affidavit of truth, which means that you're rebutting presumptions. Because in contract law, even outside of court, there are still presumptions at law that are held against you. Okay? So what you have to do is, in order to supplement those presumptions and basically just say, hey, fuck you, I'm not it, I'm not him, that's why you have to present an affidavit of truth. Now, this rescission notice is made pursuant to 15 United States Code 1635A. As I was never told I had 3 days to rescind this agreement. Neither was I given the notice that comes along with all consumer credit transactions, which they never give you. They never give you. Furthermore, you, the dealership, failed to clearly and conspicuously disclose all my rights as a consumer, including but not limited to, right? My right of rescission. Number 1, you, dealership, participated in a consumer credit transaction and not a loan. If you want to understand the difference between that, look up 15 United States Code, subsection 1602I. Take further notice that pursuant to 15 United States Code, subsection 1605, the finance charge in connection with any consumer credit transaction shall be determined as the sum of all charges, okay, which was never disclosed to me by your organization in direct violation of this law. Somebody said a 200K SUV, I put 0 down for my income as well. There you go. So I know I ain't tripping. So number 3, it says you, the dealership, also accepted a cash down payment, whatever you put down, cash, whatever, violating 15 United States Code 1605, which clearly states the finance charge does not include charges of a type payable in a comparable cash transaction, which means your down payment was something that they stuck in their fucking pocket. Let that sink in. Now, it says, this is what really scares them. Pursuant to 15 United States Code, subsection 1611, 1, 3, one can be fined up to $5,000 or face imprisonment for up to 1 year, or both, for giving false or inaccurate information or fails to provide information which he is required to disclose. In this case, you, the dealership, willfully violate this law when you fail to disclose and provide all information clearly to me as a consumer. Notice that pursuant to 15 United States Code 1635B, upon receipt of this rescission, I am not liable for any finance charge or other charge, and any security interest becomes void, effective immediately. Take further notice that 20 days after your receipt of this notice, you must return any money or property given as earnest money, down payment, or otherwise. Also, you shall take any action necessary or appropriate to reflect the termination of any security interest created underneath this transaction and placed on the property, which in this case, which will be the make and model of the vehicle. Your failure to comply with this rescission will result in civil liability for fraud pursuant to 15 United States Code 1640. You get it notarized, and you send it to their bitch ass. Let me tell y'all something. All praises due to the Most High. But I'm telling you, I had fun with this, to be honest with you. Because as a culture and a people of a society, we have always been taught that we have no right recourse, no remedy. We are just lost at sea, quote unquote. Man, I tell you, when you understand that consumer laws are written to protect you, they're not against you. They're to protect you because they understand that in commerce, there is always going to be some devious shit going on. It's just that people are not unaware. They are unawares to it. Appreciate the love, y'all. They're unawares to it. And see, by you being unawares to it, guess what happens? These bitches turn around and be like, oh, you know what? We got us another one, y'all. And in that instance, this results in us losing. You purchased the vehicle, but they took it from you through repossession. Not only that, they slandered you and disfranchised you on your credit report because they said that it was a non-payment. So now, not only did you lose the vehicle, your credit's fucked up too. Or in the case of mortgage, which I'm about to get onto now. In the case of mortgage, they actually do the same thing with mortgage contracts. The same thing. Will it still apply if I refinance my original contract with another bank? I wouldn't even consider even trying to renegotiate a contract until you deal with the first one initially. To be honest with you, you should not. This is my personal advice. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a lawyer. I'm just a man that likes to read. But at the same token, before you even try to reconsider engaging yourself in any further commercial transactions, minimize the debt of the first one initially. Once you minimize that, at least if you do consider moving forward with refinancing with another bank, at least you don't have a fucked up history. So before you do that, clean up the mess first and then consider moving forward. Exactly. Because according to the law, it tells you exactly it's a consumer credit transaction. It tells you they never gave you a loan, is what I'm telling you. You never got a loan. You got word of mouth. That's what you got. We financed you. Where the fuck is the paperwork at? Because if you read through your financing contract, it even says it on the contract, consumer credit transaction. It doesn't say shit about a loan. You have to read your financing contract. I'm so fucking serious. It never says anything about a loan. It says exactly what it says, consumer credit transaction. It don't say shit about no loan. They never gave you anything. They monetized the application. They turned it into an asset. Then they switched it, made it a liability, deposited it with themselves through in-house financing. And what they did was drew it up with a promissory note, attached that to it, and your ass had to pay the interest on your own credit. That's how you got finessed. Just that simple. That's how they do you. You got finessed. Oh, we'll give you the title once you make that payment back on them interest payments. So now not only did you pay for a vehicle once with your signature, you're paying for it twice, and you're paying for it overly 3 times by interest. You got fucked 3 times. It's my deal. We got a contract for a credit card, car lease, mortgage. How do I get it off me one by one? Seems like you need help. Well, it's a lot for me to pack into this this live, but you do have my email address. If you would like to schedule a consultation, by all means, please do so. So I can't pack it all into this live because I'm getting ready to get onto the mortgage situation now. Call it consumer credit transaction, a lease. It sums up the trend. I'm just saying, a consumer credit transaction is just that. It's a consumer credit. Notice the words. It's plain as day. Consumer credit transaction. I signed my credit in order to receive something. That's a transaction. That is a consumer credit. It didn't say lender credit transaction. Then that would make it very clear. Okay, so somebody gave me something. It said consumer credit transaction, which means that you, the consumer, use your credit to make a purchase. So a lot of people who come online and explain that you could use your credit to purchase stuff are not explaining it in the light of the law that actually details what it's saying. They make you believe that you can just sign some shit and whoo, it's just like it's yours. No, it can never be yours without some type of liability attached to it. Sure, they'll give it to you because once they give it to you, they draw it up as a loss. Anytime a bank says they're going to loan you something, they don't loan you shit. Whenever they draw a check, they're basically putting it down as a liability on their books. Anyone that comes to a bank for a loan, the bank knows off the muscle, you probably don't have the ability to pay it back. That's what we want. We want you to fall into debt. Debt is what keeps banks' doors open. I don't think y'all understand, but you understand today, debt is what keeps banks open. People swear to God, you know, they fooled the shit out of us with Hollywood movies. You know, oh yeah, give it up. You know, they go up in there with the guns, give it up. Then they go in there and grab it all. Yeah, that's Hollywood shit. You know what movies really should depict? The motherfuckers open up their them bags and they be going in there robbing banks and shit. They should be showing this as what they really actually obtained. And then people will really get the fucking message. This is what they should be showing. This. When they open up them bags, this is what they should show them. We didn't get nothing. I bet you a motherfucker think about robbing the bank then. You ain't get shit. That's the whole idea of America's banking system. They need assets. I tell people the most valuable asset that you have in your life is your fucking signature. Your signature gives life and existence to something transacting. If you don't sign something, it never takes action. That's why it's called transaction, transferable action. You sign, they say, okay, hey, pull it around the front. We got another one. That's commerce, people. That's commerce. Thanks for the love, man. Appreciate it. So then, if you're a secure party creditor such as myself, you also send them commercial affidavit for common law, copyright, trademark violation, numerous pages. You know what I'm saying? Send that to their ass. And you send off any type of other particular documentations that you wish to proceed with, and then you actually copy claim it to the prosecutor and tell them that you wish to proceed with charges. Once you get that ball rolling, everything works out. I sent 2 emails previously. How do I get a consult with your brother? It's if you send it to, hold on. I could check it in real time right now. It may take a little second to come through, but my email is Luciferian Light. LuciferNLight7@gmail.com. That's my primary email address. And my secondary email address is LuciferNLight7@protonmail.com or protonmail.me. Either way, I still get it. Now, somebody asked me about the mortgage scenario. Very much similar. It's just that I love dealing with them. I love dealing with them because when you actually deny the actual existence, see, what you have to do is deny the existence of a mortgage. Like literally. I'm serious. You have to deny it. See, it's not so much as like an auto loan because they're governed by different laws. You see what I'm saying? And when you deny that you ever got a loan, their idea in quote unquote commercial law is that mortgages are not governed the same as auto loans or other loans are. They're governed by a whole different set of laws, but nonetheless, the same consumer law applies because the consumer credit transaction took place. So with that being said, you have to deny. And you have to specifically deny and say, you never gave me shit. You see what I'm saying? And you have to understand that once you deny this, it now becomes evident to them that they have to prove that they actually loaned you something. So when you actually expose the mortgage fraud, what you're basically telling them is you didn't give me shit according to these laws, the ones that I just read to you. You know what I'm saying? And what you do stand for prior to them even responding with some bullshit response is you give them what's called a mortgage discharge letter. You see what I'm saying? Once you actually give them that letter, again, according to Fair Debt Collection Practices Act 1692, once you give them that letter, all collection efforts must cease. They must cease. That means stop. That means stop. They don't need to contact you. The only subject matter you need to talk about is the letter you sent them. That's all you need to talk about. Don't talk about the amount. Don't talk about what you're going to pay. You just simply say, according to Fair Debt Collection Practices Act, according to this document I sent you January 25th, I have received no response, theretofore. Certified mail, I sent it to y'all. I have received no response. If they want to take you to court, tell them, get me there as soon as fucking possible. That's what you tell them. Please get me to court as soon as possible. Let them know you ain't scared. Because if you have all this stuff, courts rule based on evidence, not feelings, not emotions, not ideologies. Evidence. If you have all this evidence in place, how the fuck you gonna lose? How? What does this give them? It gives them one out. Let them go forward and proceed with that shit. Let them go. Let them go to court. Let them stick the pistol inside their own fucking mouth. Don't back down, people. Your power is within your resistance to exposing that these motherfuckers have frauded you. How are you going to lose in court? How? You can't. It's impossible. All you have to do is show the judge, according to these laws, according to what I sent them, we have a problem. Certified UCC research, nothing comes up. That's a lien placed against you, and if it doesn't, you lien instead. Hell yeah. Because I was telling people, and I heard it on somebody's shit, it was years ago. Somebody was sitting there like, oh, don't file no UCC1. That's a contract between you and the government. And I was like, this person don't know what the fuck they talking about. First off, let's get one thing straight, people. The UCC1, in and of itself, according to Article 9, is a perfected security interest. Okay, let me check. It's a perfected security interest, right? So if you don't have a UCC1 filing, in simplistic terms, your information, as far as your private information, is considered, quote unquote, public property. If you don't have a superior security interest over your straw man, it is up for grabs because you didn't claim it. According to maritime law, whenever a ship capsizes, right, and it loses its cargo, right, So let's just break it down like this. When America claimed bankruptcy in 1933, the ship capsized. Poof. That's in maritime law. When you claim bankruptcy, that's it. The spoils, the bill of lading, and so forth and so on that went along with the transport of the cargo, lost at sea. So whenever you are traveling on foreign waters and so forth, you have to understand that foreign waters is where no law really exists. See what I'm saying? So if I am a ship that is probably behind you and your boat capsized, granted that my ship can take the weight of your lost cargo, I can take your shit and you can't do nothing about it. Because it's salvage. If it washes up on sea and the people that's on land grab it, you can't do nothing about it because it's lost at sea. People are the same way who don't follow UCC 1. Your ass lost at sea. So you get washed up on shore. Somebody say, oh, that's valuable. And they take it. I got your email address. I got your email. But I'm just letting you know, you are lost at sea. And they take your information. So now that you place a lien against it, now you can recoup it like, wait a minute, that was secure property. So if you do find it in someone else's possession, and it does have a likeness or a mark on it that you can identify with your possession of the documentation that proves that that's yours, they have to give it back. This is what they're not telling y'all. They're not telling you this. Real talk. It's the truth. And the crazy thing is, this is not some type of secret society, mystical knowledge, or some hidden type. It's in the law itself. It's just that a lot of people have been conditioned to believe, oh, well, we don't have a right to record. You do. I emailed you back too, in real time. So yeah, after I finish this live, we could probably go, settle it. But yeah. So when I tell y'all this, the mortgage is the same way. So in other words, you're denying that they even loaned you something, but you're doing it pursuant to the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act. Because when mortgage companies call you, they always say, this is a debt collector. That's all they let you know right now. The muscle. It's about a debt matter, right? But you have to also understand that the bank involved in the alleged loan did not purchase the promissory note from you. They didn't buy it from you. The alleged borrower, right? If that's not rebutted, then it stands as true. I appreciate it. Real time. For real. Hey, real time, man. Active. Get active. Now it says proof of claim. The alleged borrower provided the money, transfer funds, money equivalent, which is signature, credit, which is your signature, capital or thing of value that the bank itself, the alleged lender, needed to give value to check or similar instrument. So in other words, they took, again, your signature and they said, oh, bam. They took yours and used it against you. Now, what did they do? They also did a fraudulent conversion. So what they do is they converted the property itself with a security interest to the actual mortgage company. They made you the tenant, and not the owner. And then they said that basically you have to repay us back with interest on this mortgage. And if you don't, we can put you in foreclosure. But banks cannot put you in foreclosure because banks don't loan you shit. And I keep stressing it. They don't loan you anything. Proof of claim. The alleged borrower may repay the alleged loan with the same species of money as may be on the loan per GAAP, ending all interest and liens, right? They never tell y'all about this stuff, but I will. You know what I'm saying? Straight. What is GAAP? Let's look at the definition. It's in the mortgage contract, but people just don't read it. I love saying GAAP. Now, GAAP stands for General Accepted Accounting Principles. It's a set of accounting rules and standards that businesses in the United States use to report their financial information. GAAP's purpose is to make financial statements clear, consistent, and comparable. The 3 C's, right? In the law, when we read, absolutely. Real talk. And it's the truth. It says principles of regularity. Accountants must follow. Accountants use. Accountants. Financial reporting procedures. So it's going against all the principles that these people are supposed to go by. But because people don't read, we think that they're doing good business. And they're fucking not. And I'm going to be the person to tell you that they're not doing good business. They're doing fraudulent business underneath the guise of actually pretending that they loaned you something, but they didn't. If not rebutted, this stands as truth in commerce. The written agreement failed to disclose all material facts as required. If not rebutted, this stands as truth. All of this stuff is nothing more than your proofs of claim against these people. But it also says the alleged borrower is hereby requesting that an authorized officer or agent of the alleged lender sign the rebuttal by affidavit within 3 working days upon receipt of this notice. This is called the 3-day jammer. That's what I call it. You know what I'm saying? This alleged borrower's good faith attempt to clarify the terms of the loan agreement prior to an administrative hearing on the matter, i.e., what do they call arbitration? They never take it there because if they really did, and you knew what you knew, never make it. But remember, this is a before. So basically, you're trying to resolve it. Failure to respond to this affidavit would be deemed as dishonor and result in the alleged lender's default. The affidavits are evidence that may be used according to federal rules of evidence to prosecute or to default alleged lender in this matter. Alleged borrower's CPA is prepared to offer expert witness testimony should that even become necessary. Y'all don't want to fuck with Lord of Light's favorite Prince with this shit. Do you understand what I'm saying? Speaks volumes, people. Speaks volumes. Speaks volumes. Oh, man. You have fun with it. It's not rebutted point for point by a duly qualified representative of alleged lender at any level, which means your lawyers too. In any manner, at any time within 3 days. I'm not giving you 10. I'm not giving you 20. I'm not giving you 30. I'm giving your bitch ass 72 hours. I guarantee you're either going to get an email, you're either going to get some phone calls, you're going to get something. It's going to be directly addressing what you sent them, but I didn't ask you to call me. I asked you to write me. So until you provide me writing, I cannot resolve anything that you even talking to me over the phone about. Don't call me, bitch. Write me. You got 48 hours. All responses must be sent to notary listed below. All other response mailings will be default. In other words, you can send me whatever the fuck you want after I send you this. It's default. I'm sticking it in the trash. That's as good as it is. I'm not saving it anymore. I'm not going to pile up my desk with this shit. It's going in the fucking trash. I'm not answering no questions until you respond. Any man or woman responding to this affidavit will answer in the manner of this affidavit using your natural born name. Signature and mailing below. All responses must be sent to the notary below. Pursuant to 15 United States Code 1611, criminal liability for willful and knowing violation. Whoever willfully and knowingly gives false or inaccurate information or fails to provide information which he or she is required to do and disclose under the provisions of this subchapter or any regulation issued thereunder shall be fined no more than $5,000 or imprisoned for more than 1 year or both. How y'all want it? This is what you tell a mortgage company. How you want it? You want it in your leg? How you want it? How you want it? How you want it? You want it in your leg, huh? Well, you want it in your thigh? Turn around. Let me shoot you in the ass. You said, fact, you got to get it in writing. I don't want statements on the phone. I want it in writing. I want it in writing. Simple as that. I don't want to hear shit. See what I'm saying? And when you understand the power of that, you'll be surprised. Do I assist people in this matter? Absolutely. Yes, I do. Because to be honest with you, I believe that everybody in their natural born capacity deserves to live a life debt-free. And because of the ignorance of society, we have been taught throughout our life of indoctrination, irrespective of nationality, culture, creed, origin, or anything. All the divisive natures that they tried to pit society against, they never taught us that you were supposed to live debt-free. See, a lot of people was bragging about credit cards growing up. We used to think that was the shit. It wasn't. You know what I'm saying? Always, no sleeping. But at the same token, it's one of those situations where we were always taught that we were supposed to live in debt or indebted or get credit cards. We were taught that we're supposed to get these things, but never taught how to properly handle them. That was the problem, that indoctrination in society as far as money is generally concerned, or as far as finances are concerned, is that everyone wants you to teach you that you got to get rich in this culture and this and this and that. They're not telling you that you must understand one principle. A fool and his money are soon parted, which means that, yes, you can get wealthy. Yes, you can get money. Yes, you can have a stroke of luck. But if your ass ain't got no wisdom, you're going to lose all that shit. And the objective of obtaining things in life is to not lose it. You see what I'm saying? It's to maintain it in such a degree and caliber that nobody can take it from you, which is why I tell people, and I said it in my live and on TikTok yesterday, when I was telling people about deregistering your vehicle. I even said it on my YouTube channel videos ago, deregistering your vehicle. People was like, you could deregister your vehicle? Oh, yeah. Yes. States have these forms. I know it's hard for some people to believe because indoctrination told you got to. No, you don't. You choose to. Remember, Cruden versus Neely says all men are independent of all laws except those prescribed by nature. He is not bound by any institutions formed by his fellow man without his consent, which means that if you consent to register your car, congratulations, you are paying tribute to the state. They're basically saying you are now paying taxes for our property. That's what registration is. So your car you think is yours ain't yours. Or those who like to be politically correct, it isn't yours. I appreciate that, man. Now, for people who don't believe me, right, that I say that governments have these forms for you to deregister your vehicle, they fucking do. Okay, this is called the Affidavit for Removal of Registered Vehicle from Vehicle Registration Files. This is according to my state in which I live. I had covered up because I got my personal information, but yes, you can. I do hereby certify. Woo, woo, woo. I request that the computer record showing this vehicle in my name be canceled. You can do it. So whenever you get pulled over, cops say license registration. I ain't got registration. They can cite you for it all they want. All they're going to do is give you a bitch-ass citation. All you got to do is take that affidavit with you to court. I deregistered my vehicle. I told him I deregistered my vehicle. I don't even know why the bitch wrote the ticket. Let me tell y'all something. The more y'all learn about this, and y'all fight cases in court. I'm not a lawyer. I'm just a man that likes to read, okay? When you put this information in court, eventually the court's going to do one of two things. They're going to get fucking sick and tired of you. But not to mention, every time you have to appear for court as a secure party creditor, that's a fee schedule. If you have a fee schedule, you know about a fee schedule, you made one. I'm at work right now. If I have to come to court, that's $2,000 just for me to make my appearance. See, I'm going to keep it reasonable. I mean, $2,000 is all right for making a 20-minute appearance. I mean, hell, celebrities do the same shit, right? They walk through a club and just walk through. That's pretty much what I'm doing. I'm walking through. And once you have all this stuff on record, this is one of the reasons why I tell people, documents speak louder than words. Because everything that we deal with in commerce is documented. It's okay to know this stuff off the top of your head, but it's better to have it in paper. So what can an officer say if they pull you over, you got your vehicle deregistered? It shouldn't even showed up in your computer. You should have already knew that before you got out the fucking car. But now you want to inconvenience me. Now I'm going to let you know. I'm charging you now. People are like, you can't sue a police officer. No, maybe not the officer, but the person who's in the uniform, yes, the fuck you can. It's called small claims court. Get right. Registration. To be officially recorded or listed. Registration refers to the process of officially recording or listing your business with the appropriate authorities. Black's Law Dictionary 6th edition. I keep this in my fuck around and find out binder, which I suggest most people actually make too. Get your paperwork together, people, because we don't hold court in the street. Please, we don't. You simply just deal with it for all intents and purposes. They say you did something. Great. Whatever. Sign a ticket under coercion, under duress, reserve your rights, and defend the shit. Okay? Don't sit there and just because they try to convince you. Even courts will try to convince you of this. Even if it's not a major infraction. It could be, failure to stop at a stop sign. Oh, it's just $200. Man, fuck you. You know the price of groceries out here today? Huh? It ain't just $200. Fuck you. It's easy for you to say because the next person that come behind me gonna try to goddamn be like, man, I'm just trying to pay. I ain't trying to argue. Man, get the fuck on. You know what I'm saying? No, I'm not giving up my hard-earned motherfucking fiat for that bullshit. Hell yeah, get that paperwork together, man. Y'all better understand, man. This is not a joke. You know what I'm saying? It's not a joke, people. And the reason why I'm taking my time out of, you know what I'm saying, my particular day, and just because it's what I've been doing for years. Have I ever been arrested before? Fuck yeah. But have I ever been arrested in connection to what I do? No. When I got arrested in the past, it was because I was doing dumb ass shit. Just gonna be honest with you. I mean, some people come out in this world to try to play saint. Well, no. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But what helped me stay out of those predicaments is it's not even the fact of the consequence of what I did. It's the fact that I just got tired of people getting so much off of me and I didn't realize how much I was actually worth. I was like, oh shit. I mean, it was like when I first found out about this, like in my beginning years and years ago, well over a decade ago. You know, I had like this sense of like I threw up in my mouth. That's how disgusted I was figuring out how these people really manipulate us. They don't even treat us like natural people, like natural living sentient people. They treat us like things. And I was like, wow, this is crazy, because I realized the reality behind the court system too. It's never about right or wrong. It's always about a court of equity. It's about who the fuck gonna pay. A liability is drawn up against you, and then they figure out who gonna pay this shit. And just like that person who gives you that mortgage contract and who gives you that loan contract, they're salivating at the mouth that you sign that shit. And if you ever been in that predicament before, I'm getting ready to read the comment second. If you ever been in that predicament before, what they always turn around and tell you, don't read it. Just sign it. Now you coercing me. Now I ain't got no choice but to sign this under coercion. Can I read? Mississippi at court without me and gave me one advice. Well, that's pretty much the situation, to be honest with you. In any instance, they're trying to jam you, bro. I'm just going to be honest with you. Courts are not your friend. They don't give a damn about your schedule. They don't care if you in surgery. How many hours do I study? How many hours? I mean, I can't even equivocate, because to be honest with you, when I'm not even online, I'm probably doing something else. You know what I'm saying? I think I spent a better part of my entire month, you know what I'm saying, from the beginning. And I want to say this as further edification for people who have been struggling with trying to find some sort of balance between their redemption and their personal life. It's just advice. I'm not telling nobody what to do. Everybody here is an adult. You do what you will. You have to make time. You see what I'm saying? You have to make time. If you look at some of the things that we are introduced to in our society, and not trying to be overly conscious or anything, just observant. Most of the stuff that we have offered to us in society is designed to distract us. Fucking Netflix, you know, throughout the year, movies and shit, video games, this, that, all of that shit is designed to keep you exactly in your position as a consumer. No matter if you're buying something or you're sitting on your ass watching Netflix all fucking Saturday, you're still consuming something. That Netflix account that you pay for, you're consuming. See what I'm saying? You may see it as innocent. Oh, I've been working all week and I need to rest. I understand. I totally get it. Yes, you all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. I get it. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate that. All work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. But you have to realize if you start in your life being like, wait a minute, I'm spending too much time on social media. I'm spending too much time on the phone with a bunch of motherfuckers who ain't talking about shit. I'm spending too much time. Notice what you're saying, spending. I'm spending too much time worried about going to other people's house during the weekend. I'm spending too much time where you have to understand you have to reprioritize some things sometimes. There's nothing wrong with reprioritizing some things. I tell people elevation only comes with isolation. The only time I leave my motherfucking house is if I have to go to the grocery store. And if I really don't feel like it, I get on some lazy shit on Instacart. Other than that, if you want to expand your consciousness about the things that are really important in your life, you're going to have to limit your exposure to other things that are not benefiting you. So I know a lot of people say like, oh, my New Year's resolution is this and that. Your New Year's resolution, to be honest with you, should be your motherfucking self. Resolve you. Now, a lot of people be like, well, where do I start? Start by focusing on the problem. See, when you focus on the problem, guess what? Now you start finding solutions. Somebody say that's me currently. I mean, I understand. And I know people find it hard to believe, but years ago, when I first began this journey, I literally went 5 years. I went 5 solid years with no social media, no contact with family. It got that sincere with me. I'm talking about no partying, no clubbing, no drinking, no none of that shit. Hell, I didn't even have a significant other. I was totally dedicated to getting what I needed to get because I made it my priority in my life to make that the most important thing for me to get to where I need to get to. Fuck everything else. And I look at it like in simple facts, it's like maybe sometimes we have to really start to understand this is the bigger picture. Just like you on live right now. Why are you here? You here because you want something that the rest of the world ain't getting. I got less than 30 people in here. I don't give a fuck. As long as I got 20 some odd people in here that's listening. I don't need 1,000 people in here. You're here because you want something that the world ain't giving you. You're not going to get either. If you do get it, they're going to try to charge you an arm and a leg for the shit and still not going to get any clarity on the issue. Sad, but true. You see what I'm saying? See, I'm providing clarity to show people like, hey, there's a better way. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate it. And all praise is due to the Most High. I mean, I dedicated my life to be like, you know what? Something ain't right. And I can't blame. See, we live in a society where so many people are so weak and inept that it's easy to cast blame on somebody. They doing it. It's something fuck all that shit. It's something that you have to come into realization for. It's like, do you really want this? Because I'm going to tell you right now, it's not easy. And people could attest to this, just going to file documentations becomes a fucking problem. You got to damn near threaten the court clerk. You got to damn near threaten the court clerk. They go through your documentation. They don't even want to file your paperwork. It's not they don't want to. It's just that you fuck up their interest by protecting yours. You better understand that that's where the adversary comes in on this shit. And please don't try to go to open court. And let me tell y'all something about social media that's misleading a lot of y'all. A lot of people would go over to social media and stuff, and they literally sit here and they show y'all people who go to court. Like, yeah, I was such and such, and woo, 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 woo. They do that for a reason. For people to come in the comment section who are totally brainwashed, believing that these people, yes, they have a concept, but they're doing it wrong. See, if you really read scripture, you'll understand when Christ said, settle with your adversary before you go to court. Right? So if it says settle with your adversary before you go to court, right? Before. Think about that for a second. It said before, which means that you have to operate in the private. So by the time you get to court, you done already gave your documentation to whomever was the adversary, and you basically say, well, you know, yeah, you have to. You know what I'm saying? You have to threaten. You have to not threaten like I'm a deuce. No, you have to just notify them of the requisite law. You know what I'm saying? The clerk don't want to file, you just slide a copy and say, you know what, you're breaking the law right now. You don't have to sit there and get loud so they could try to make it seem like you belligerent, and then they try to call a hitman in there on you, make you look like you crazy, and get you jammed up. Because again, you are in deep waters when you deal with that certain type of entity. So you have to realize, tread lightly. Hey, you know, you're breaking the law right now. I'm just let you know, just put you on notice that you not, and you can speak in a very soft voice and still scare the shit out of somebody. And just have a look that you know civilly liable for, you know, not filing these documentations. You do know that, right? And you put that paper right in front of them. You don't have to yell. You don't have to get belligerent. You don't got to get all that. You don't got to do all that. Don't they have yes, they have a fiduciary duty. And not to mention, for failure to, see, that's why I told people documentation is everything. They have a fiduciary duty because the clerk's responsibility is to get documentation on the record, formally recorded and for the life. But once you actually show them, you know, the requisite law, like, hey man, you know, just let you know, man, you're breaking the law right now. You know what I'm saying? Well, you're breaking the law right now. It says the minute you receive any affidavit, it's recorded. So the moment I give it to you, you already recorded. Should you refuse to record my affidavits once deposited with you, you are committing a crime against justice under statutes at large, section 5403. It's punishable up to $2,000 fine or 3 years imprisonment. If your county attorney told you not to file documents like mine, you're still responsible, as I do not accept any third-party interveners, any attorney, district attorney, or anyone from the law and craft, all the third parties, and do not have a license to make a legal determination in this matter, as they do not represent me and you, the county clerk. So if you send documentations in to these entities, you attach that. You send a certified mail. The moment they receive that shit, that should be the first thing over your documentation. I ain't need to talk. The moment you receive it, it's recorded. And it says the notice to the county clerk. So you write their name on top. So you direct it to who exactly it's going to. See what I'm saying? You got to. Thread with paper, not acting crazy. Yeah, you just got to just, hey. That look like somebody on a horror movie. You know what I'm saying? I'm serious. And people don't understand. They be thinking I be bullshit. What I be saying that? Let me see. I just sent bro an email because I know I'm about to get off a live in a little while. Not a little while, but I'm gonna cook a little while longer. But y'all get what I'm saying? For real. Going back to what I was saying, you have to come to a consensus within itself to say, within itself to say, do I really want this? See, if you really read scripture, Christ said, does a man sit down to put his hand to a project and not be willing to see if he actually has all the materials and resources to get it done? You don't want to start building your tower and then halfway you be like, man, fuck this shit. Everybody gonna look at you like you a fucking failure. See, redemption is about, it's bigger than just paperwork. It's bigger than just filing documents and you can put your hands back and you free and clear. This shit is a full-time job. I don't think people understand it because you realize with your eyes wide open that this whole commercial system is your fucking enemy. Now, a lot of people be like, well, what you talking about? You don't do nothing wrong to nobody, know what happened. Well, who can guarantee what somebody else would do to you? And in any instance, you're living in a society where virtually everything you do is deemed illegal. You could go in the mall and yell to the top of your fucking lungs. Public disturbance. Do you see how ludicrous this is? It's like, yeah! Next thing you know, disturbing the peace, whatever the fuck. Everything you do, everything, you have to really put your mind into it. Like, everything you do can be criminalized. They tell you it's illegal to drink and drive, but bars have parking lots. Fuck. Make it make sense. I'll make it make sense for you because the alcohol is regulated by sales tax in the state, and your ass coming out that bar, DUI, is going to make the state profit too. So they don't give a fuck. That's why they got parking lots. To let you sit down and get inebriated. So the moment your ass pull out that bar, if I'm a law enforcement officer and I know you pulled out, guess what? Probable cause already existed because you jumped in the car coming out of a bar. Wham! You understand certain things in this culture. It's a trap. It's a trap. Believe it. But your job is to make sure you avoid the pitfalls. That's the only thing that you can do. And the reason why redemption is so strong and effective in its proper usage is because you are aware of the game. You're aware of the game. You realize it's not always about right or wrong. It's about proverbial who walks away with the winnings. And 90% of the time, they're always going to weigh it against you that it ain't your ass. You see what I'm saying? Something I did on purpose, such as what? Elaborate a little bit for me, please. But yeah, you have to also understand that this is one of the situations where it's going to test you. Oh, it's going to see what you're made of. Because to whom much is given, much is required. So don't think that I'm just coming here on YouTube like some newfound personality. I've been doing this for years. Had I had losses? Yeah, I only had losses when I was in the wrong. I couldn't argue that shit. So what did I start doing in my personal life? Taking accountability and start doing right. Oh yeah, I did that intentionally. Yes, I did that solely intentionally because I had to really understand that I couldn't be double-minded. I couldn't live one way and then try to expect this way to work. You can't walk both ways. You'll tear yourself in half. So if you want to walk on that path to redeem yourself, you have to first understand it's really a spiritual thing. And I'm not no preacher or nothing like that. I'm just a person that's really just making y'all just really see it for what it is. It's a spiritual thing. It says that, you know what I'm saying, you have to be renewed according to you have to renew your mind. You have to change the way you think. You have to understand, you have to really come to a real hardcore realization that the way you've been thinking was fucked up. And, you know, you really have to understand that. For real. You have to really understand what it means. You have to really change it. Romans 12:2 says, and be not conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. You have to line your life up with the Creator's will. The Creator's will is not for you to live indebted to anybody. It's not the purpose. Debts are created mechanisms used to otherwise make people subject to a person who otherwise enforces that obligation against them. That is not the Creator's will. Everybody, everything is created freely. But as man has pushed through society and corrupted it to his own benefit, now you're paying for water. What once grew on trees, now you go to the grocery store and get it out of a plastic bag. That's not God's will. That's the fact. You know, when it was once free energy, nope. Everybody on the grid. You have to renew your mind. You have to understand that your way of thinking sucked. And it wasn't your fault. It was only your fault based upon the notion that they never wanted you to think for yourself anyway. See, they had a name for it before it became woke. It was free thinker. They always looked at people who have their own mind to be a threat. Me, myself, growing up, being in school and so forth and so on, a lot of kids didn't fuck with me, which was cool because 36 years old today, I'm an introvert. I don't fucking really like people. Not saying I don't. It's one of the situations where it's like, you have to understand that you have to protect your energy. Okay? And when you understand that light and darkness, not saying good and evil, it said light, consciousness, and darkness, which is unconsciousness, don't have no thing being together. So when you're by yourself, you have an opportunity to focus more on you, as opposed to somebody who's always on the phone or always gossiping or always in some shit. Those people I don't like being around. I don't like people who come and talk about other people. I fucking can't stand that shit. You know what I'm saying? I really hate it. Like, it really irks my spirit, because it's one of the situations where we could be talking about something totally different, or we could be doing something totally different. Who cares about Puff Daddy? Who gives a fuck about what's going on in society? I don't care. That's just me. So I rub people the wrong way because of my brutal honesty. You know what I'm saying? And because of my brutal honesty, people don't like you. I don't give a fuck. One thing I learned for sure, and two things for certain. Before my mom passed, she left this early years ago. Rest in peace, man. I love you. So don't ever worry about what nobody think about you. The only thing that matters is what you think about you. That's all that matters. And see, when you are comfortable enough within the spirit of the Most High that Creator give you, man, fuck them people. Give a fuck. And people who know me personally will tell you the truth. They like, yeah, he's like that. I'm like this. I am not like this just for YouTube. I'm like this in real life. Straight up. This is not a YouTube personality character. What's going on, man? All is well with me. Hope all is well with you too, brother. It's been a while, man. But yeah, I'm that way in life. And I understand that when you called according to a particular purpose, you're called according to a particular purpose to live right. See, we live in this world where everybody, as the days go on, everybody's so hell-bent on self-preservation. I gotta get it. I gotta get it. If I can't get it, then nobody can have it. Nah, we ain't on that, man. Fuck that. It's enough for everybody to go around. No problem, man. And that's all it's about. You know what I'm saying? Because I tell people all the time, I don't do this on my own strength, because I'm not a secular type of person who just thinks, oh yeah, well, you know, I got all this knowledge, and you know what I'm saying, motherfucker can't touch me. No, you gotta stay humble. But at the same token, stay humble, but don't let nobody step on you. You see what I'm saying? Stay humble, but don't let nobody step on you. You know what I'm saying? When you go into court, that's their whole objective, to step on you. They want to stop. Nah, fuck that. They talk about contempt of court. Then look, if I can't say nothing, then I need to go. That's what you tell the judge. If I can't say nothing, I need to leave. That's what you gotta tell them. If they don't want you to represent yourself, you look, you know what I'm saying? Hell no. That's the biggest. Let me tell you something. And I'm going to tell you right now, that is so not right. And I'm gonna tell you why. It's all about perspective. You need to have money to make like the transition, like court fees, documentation, filing, mailing. You're probably going to spend more on mailing than anything, because you can actually file documentation in court without prepayment of fees. Court fees is only if you lose. The object is to not lose. You'll probably spend the most documentation, filing, that's free. If you have a case filed in court and you have documentations to accompany that, once you get a case number and they let you proceed without prepayment of fees, it's free. You're going to spend the majority of the time mailing. That's just, the majority of money is just going to be mailing. Getting it to the parties, serving the parties with the documentation, whoever the party to the action. That's probably the most you're going to spend. It's all about perception. I'm about to get a regional manager of the public defender's office, possibly state child division director of the public. Hey man, get them all. They ain't nothing but operators that's operating underneath a guise of legal execution, but they all financial. And people, going back to what I was saying about the courts again, have no fear. Because the only thing that you need to understand about the word fear is false evidence appearing real. That's all it is. You fear what they're going to do to you. They can't do nothing to you without your permission. Remember that if you don't remember anything I'm saying during this conversation. Nobody can do anything to you without your permission. Let that sink in. If you understand that in this universe that we call, quote unquote, Earth, permission is the strongest form of consent. Why do you think before you even eat some hot ass hot wings at a restaurant, you want to do a challenge? What do they make you sign? A waiver. They say, if anything happened to you, we ain't responsible. Here's the kicker though. They make you sign a waiver because they know there's a potential that something can happen to you. Fear means false evidence appearing real. That's what it is. See, when they say people fear what they don't understand, they're absolutely correct. But when you overstand it, where the fear dissipates. So it's just like, yeah, years ago when I used to go in front of the judge, I was one of them people. I was one of the people walking dead. You go in there, you yes. It was like, man, get me in front of the motherfucker today. You can't. It's like they see you coming in like, oh my God, this motherfucker again. That is the objective. Make them sick and tired of seeing you win. Win every time. Don't harm no person or their property. If you do, you're going to wear that. But as long as you don't do that, everything is arguable. Everything. Make them sick and tired of seeing you win. Like this motherfucker again. Holy shit. The object of redemption is just this, people. I don't give a fuck what no third party or no law enforcement tries to put online and post online. Here is the basic object of redemption. It is not to say that people who think such as along the lines of myself or those of the like are above government. We cannot be above ourselves. Power is within the people. And secondly, the only reason why we practice these ways of lawful thinking is for you to leave us the fuck alone. That is it. We are not trying to start some movement. I'm not even a part of no group anyway. I'm just a person who likes to read. We're not trying to start no super movement where we just all can do it. No. Our objective and what we do and why I do what I do is for y'all to leave me the fuck alone. That's it. Simple. To live the life my creator allowed me to live with no encumbrances. Simple. And I know that a lot of people, now they respond instantly. Yeah, because you got to start working their ass. But that's the objective. So I know that over the years, they done came out with these sovereign citizens. There ain't no such thing. Ain't no such fucking thing. There's no sovereign citizen. No. There's a sovereign and there's a citizen. Which one do you want to be? See what I'm saying? The choice is yours. But the object is to leave people alone. See, we live in a country where for some odd reason, they just have to fucking be in all your business. probing your tax payments. You get a fucking payment more than $600. Here these bitches go in your business. They don't understand that one thing that happened back in 2019. For YouTube purposes, I'm not going to say what it is, but if you lived through 2019 and to 2020, you know what it is. It gave the world a chance to breathe. You see what I'm saying? It gave the world a chance to breathe. So when everybody started going along their own lines and started making their own fiat and started getting themselves employed, it wrecked the system because it was like, whoa, they're not reacting the way we thought they were. People were actually quitting their fucking jobs because they were actually making good, exactly. They were actually making good money at home. People were quitting their job. Like, I ain't going back to work. Fuck that. People were literally falling away from the social conglomeracy of basically complying. And that shook them to the core. But you notice after that incident, we're just gonna say incident for YouTube purposes, it just faded away. It faded away because again, nothing can happen to you without your consent. See, whenever, oh, stay in the house, man, I'm outside. What's wrong with you? If you comply or consent, then that's what happened to you. You have to realize life is 90% occurrence and 10% of how you react to it. But you could counteract the 90% with just your 10%. You either involve or you don't. Like when the election came around, who you vote for? I'm independent. That's all I tell people. That's it. Because see, when it comes to the political process, you go war with people about Republican, Democrat. I ain't never heard nobody arguing on independent. Yeah, I mean, people did go back to work because that's the idea, supply and demand. So when we deal with you know what I'm saying, the GDP of a nation, it all relies upon, supply and demand. So if you can't supply the demand of the consumer, then they got to raise prices. It's not even about that. It's just that the people who actually are the labor force are the individuals who are lacking to get what's necessary to those people who are the consumer, which is you and me, myself. So yeah, they raise prices because they're losing profit. You see what I'm saying? If they can't move a certain product, such as like groceries, which spoil, we already know that they have a like sell by date. So if they can't get it out, they're losing. So in order to make up what they lost, they got to jack up the prices. That is just common sense through fractional reserve banking. And it is only to meet the actual demand necessary in order to keep the consumer base provided for. Now, if they lowered the prices, what will happen? They will still have to keep an uptick with the production on the half of the labor force because they got to keep the shelves full. So it's a seesaw. You see what I'm saying? So you just got to be prepared for it. But I tell people this, and I've said this shit in videos and lives before. I said this. Stop shopping at them expensive ass grocery stores. If you know Publix is expensive as fuck, and we ain't gonna talk about Trader Joe's, stay the fuck out them places. Look, let me tell you something. All these chips hit just like Doritos. I'm just keeping it real. It's all about it's about your perception. Stop shopping at them high-ass grocery stores. You'll save a lot. See, it's once you know your options, what you will not spend on your groceries, you can make up for your travel time by getting to another store that you know you can get twice as much or 3 times as much at somewhere you know what I'm saying, that you ain't gonna get much from. You spending over $300, you coming out with like 6 bags. What the fuck kind of shit is that? It's only because that particular store has a supply chain, which is basically like, okay, we ain't switching our prices. If you want it, you want it. You don't, you don't. Go somewhere else. Hell yeah, nice size garden. You actually will. But here's the thing. It's a nice idea, but in society, how many people gonna keep that shit up? See, we don't live, well, some of us. Me, I live in the country. So it is what it is. Options is open everywhere. Options is open. I know a lot of people shit on the country, but hey, I'm telling you, you can shit on it if you want to, but you get top quality product and it don't cost your arm and a leg. But I'm just keeping it real. Most people ain't gonna upkeep a garden because if you live in a metropolitan area, it's a no-no. Unless, of course, you actually have land and you have a place to cultivate what you call your crops and so forth. Yeah, you could do that. But the reality is, going back to the whole basis of the commercial structure, the reason I emphasize on redemption so much is because you, as a capable, sound mind adult, you are responsible for your outcome in your personal life. Real talk. You are. And if you don't take your redemption seriously, you're going to lose. So anyone who wants to email me in regards to what I have said within this live, my email is luciferianlight7@gmail.com. Okay? Absolutely. I mean, that is a great idea. You know what I'm saying? And guess what? You don't have to pay taxes on that. You're self-employed. So you're getting money that's not recorded, quote unquote, on the books. So yeah, it's a very good idea. And not to mention, you could do that year round. Yeah, you got to come out to cities because I'm telling you right now, the worst place you could be in a metropolitan area is to be in a metropolitan area because you're stuck. If you notice, everything comes from outside in. So if something goes down in, you can't get out. Stuck. And guess what? With scarcity of resources, chaos ensues. When chaos ensues, it's madness. See, the thing that happened, and I want to, touch bases on this because I know it's a lot of people who have either heard very little or if they heard anything about it, it's very little or it was a media narrative. It's not opinionation, it's the truth. What we saw that happened in Los Angeles with the situation with the fires or whatever, we just saw a tidbit of what took place. A tidbit. I can guarantee you there are so many things that we have not seen that couldn't be published online because of the brutality and the realism of it all. People in chaos are not peaceful and calm. I'm telling you, it was chaos. Here it is. You got a disaster ahead of your direction and you weren't prepared for it. Mass panic, man. It's crazy work. But it's the reality that we live in, people. And I tell people, in 2025, we're living in some interesting times. And the crazy thing is, I even said this in previous videos. I told you I was going to get crazy. And I noticed, if you've been watching my videos before, I said little fires will start everywhere. But nobody paid me no attention. I ain't no prophet. I'm just a person who paid attention. I said it. Nobody was paying attention, though. But I did say it. And in the interesting times, I'll tell you what. Coming in the future, it's going to be so much more easier for people to accept the mark of the beast because people are tired. And the way that the system proposes is like, okay, we'll make it expedient for you. You know what I'm saying? Instead of waiting on your your IRS payments to process over a couple of weeks, opt into our system. We'll get it to you overnight. Sounds convenient, right? But if you read Revelation, it says you won't be able to buy or sell unless you had that mark. Will it happen in our lifetime? Who knows? Who knows? I'm just saying. Just think for a second. Who's the head of the energy department? Mr. Musk himself. Y'all better stay vigilant. Stay vigilant. That's all I'm saying. If you know, you know. Now, for social media purposes, I'm just keeping it real. But until that time comes, people, stay the course. Stay the course. Put on the whole armor of God, man. That's all you got. You got to put it on, man. because as time goes on, yeah, things are going to start to seem like they're getting easier that Trump's in office. Little do y'all know that they're actually opting to amend the 22nd Amendment so he can actually have a third term. Y'all didn't hear about that, did y'all? Yeah, it's under consideration that, yes, they want to, first time in, oh, shit, let's see the last time the Constitution was amended. Watch this. Last time the Constitution was amended was 1992. 27th Amendment was originally proposed in 1789, making it one of the first amendments proposed, but the last to be ratified. Which was also, the 27th Amendment states the change to the pay of Congress members cannot take effect until after an election, which was May 7th, 1992. So, if they alter then the other amendment, which is 22nd, basically they say, yo, he's eligible for a third term. We live in an interesting time, y'all. Yep. So I say these things that I say all my lives just to give you encouragement and exhort you to move into a different direction. If you are watching this live and you have enjoyed the information, again, because I'm getting ready to sign off in a little bit. If you would like to make a donation for the time granted for the information, I don't have Cash App. My wife does. It's the $ Toya Ferg 81. That's $ TOY FERG 81. Okay, if you wish to, please do. All is accepted. It is what it is. It's just a contribution for the time and energy, effort for me doing this live. It is what it is. If indeed you are compelled to do so, it is $ TOYA FERG 81. Now, as far as any consultation or any documentation or any of the fact of the matter, you can email me at luciferianlight7@gmail.com or luciferianlight7@protonmail.com. And y'all stay tuned. You know what I'm saying? And I hope that this word of exhortation has encouraged people. And yeah, exactly. Yes. I hope that it reached people, before I touch on that comment, hope that it reached people for all intents and purposes to basically show you that you're more powerful than you know. Okay? The thing is, we are all here as fragments of the all. See what I'm saying? So the difference is there are different shards of different shapes. When something breaks, nothing breaks the same. Fallen humanity has broken. And humanity has broken because the one intrinsic thing that keeps humans, well, I wouldn't even say human, that keeps natural living souls alive is knowledge and wisdom. But here we are living amongst a prison society of people. I appreciate it. That has happened amongst our society of people is that we have had groups of individuals over the years limit our exposure to knowledge. See, I noticed that a lot of people on certain social media platforms and everything, they like to go through these conspiracies and all these things and all this and what is this and what if that. The biggest conspiracy you must know is that they have purposely hidden knowledge from you for you to understand that you are a part of the all. You are a part of the structure that keeps things in line. However, you have abdicated your role to enforce yourself in this society because you don't believe in you. You don't believe that you can do it. You don't believe that you are it. Some people sit back and wait for validation from other people or other sources to make it seem as if they're good enough. You can't wait for that. It's never going to come. Not in the form and fashion you think it is. It's only going to come when you dig deep down within inside yourself and say, enough's enough. That's when it's going to start to hit a little bit different. Fear is false evidence appearing real. And they do things to attack your emotions because they understand that natural sentient people are beings that feel. See, the powers that so-called be have no emotions, which is why they do some of the things that they do and get away with it with impunity. Yet the people of the masses sit back and say, well, how do they get away with it? Because they have no conscience. They don't care as long as it benefits them. You can't serve two masters. And see, that's the whole thing you have to understand is that the so-called powers that be, they don't serve what you think they serve. So y'all could go look at all these, but in reality, you got to take it for what it's worth. It's not what you think it is. You have to reach down within yourself and say, all right, I got to give it my all. I got to give it my best. And once you do that, it's a gradual growing process. But once you apply yourself correctly, you'll never fail. But here's the thing, harm nobody or their property. You know what I'm saying? Harm nobody or their property. I know a lot of people, yeah, it's very easy to get caught up in, social issues and pressures. Don't focus on that. The moment you even see yourself being entertained by it, block it. Again, protect your energy. Meditation, good rest, exercise, study. Yeah, those are substances of life that will help you throughout stress and so forth that may otherwise be affecting you inadvertently. There's nothing wrong with it. You know what I'm saying? The people who like to, you like to slow down on that shit a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I ain't telling nobody what to do because everybody's growing on this live, but give yourself a break sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Give yourself a break sometimes. Put that fucking phone down and go outside. If you could go outside and take a job with no headphones, no gadget or nothing, and just go outside. Leave your phone at home. People are like, well, I need to take my phone with me. I ain't saying go down too far away from your house. Go take a walk in the neighborhood. Get out. Experience life. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm going to keep it real with you. What's really sucking a lot of energy and time from people is gadgetry. Just like parents don't even raise their children anymore. They let entertainment and gadgets and phones raise their children. They're not putting books and information and stuff like this in their children's face. Hell no. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Yeah, they're not educating their children. I wish I would have knew this, like, you know what I'm saying? Like before I even made mistakes. I'd be a beast. However, my mistakes made me who I am. So I learned this in applying it through my 20s, and I'm now in my mid-30s. And hell, universe willing, you know what I'm saying? I take care of myself and I live a righteous life. I mean, abundance is sure to come. You know what I'm saying? It's sure to come. Because once you dedicate your life to the right thing, that's all you're going to get. The right thing. However slow it may be, it's still a process nonetheless. It's a process. And applying these things to yourself in your daily life. I'm not talking about when you get in trouble, you like, hello. I'm talking about before you get to that point. Because when you have wisdom, you can see things intuitively like, hey, I ain't going that route. And it keeps you out of these mechanisms. And I will say this on a closing note, real talk. If you can stay out the system and stay out in people's face, by all means, please do it. However, it is always great to be prepared. So I say this in final conclusion, study to show thyself approved. Simple as that. You know what I'm saying? You got to study. You have to study. Now, a lot of people are like, well, what do you study? I understand that is a primary point of reference. But I always tell people that contacting me via email, start you off where you need to go. And the rest is up to you. But the thing is, you have to be willing to be able to sacrifice this worldly existence of complacency and get ready to put yourself in a very uncomfortable situation. Because I will tell you, it's not easy, but it ain't hard either. Because all you have to do is have discipline. and the rest will follow. So with that being said, I'll leave on a note. Like I said before, if you wish to donate anything in regards to this live, my wife's cash tag is $sign Toya, Toya, Ferg, Ferg, number 81. I thank y'all for participation in this live. I appreciate it very much. I didn't even realize I was going to cook like that. But thank y'all very much. And if it's your first time viewing my channel, whether you attended this live or you might see it at a later time, please hit the notification button, because again, I'm not in charge of who actually is subscribed or who isn't, but only you are. Hit the notification button so every time I drop a live or a video, you'll be held inside the loop. So I say this in salutations to all y'all. Peace, light, love. Agents, man, fuck y'all. But y'all still was viewing, so it is what it is. Can't even be mad at you, because haters make me greater. Other than that, y'all, study to show that I self-approve. And remember, walk in the faith. You'll be successful. I'll see y'all soon.